A profit maximizing firm, it chooses both its inputs and both its output with the sole goal of maximizing the profits. Okay, they have just one aim. Their aim is to maximize profits. Okay. Now, when you say that they choose their inputs, what their inputs could be? Their inputs could be labor, capital, machine, etc. Anything. Okay. Whatever is helping them to produce output. Their output also could be anything. Say any good X. Okay. That is their output. And their aim is to maximize the profit. Now, what exactly the profit is? The profit is the revenue which you are getting out of selling this X. Okay, the revenue which you are getting out of selling this X, and say for example, you sell X at P per unit. So your revenue is P into X. Say for example, you have sold 5 units of X, and each unit of X cost you, not cost you, I mean you are selling it at $5. So what is the total revenue? Total revenue in this case is $25. Okay. Well, in case if you look at the input side, you will say that you are using these inputs in order to produce your output. Okay. So you will have to incur certain costs in acquiring and using these inputs. Say for example, that in order to produce X, 1 unit of X, you have to incur cost of say $2. Okay. How you incur this cost, we have already discussed this in our cost theory recordings. Now here in this case, what you're trying to say is that every unit of X would require at least $2 as cost. You would have used certain labor, you would have used a building where you are producing something, you would have incurred some cost in advertising, and the amalgamation of all of these costs, the addition of all of these costs is for every unit you have to incur this $2. So when you are selling 5 units, so the total cost would be $2 into the number of units you have sold, which is $10. Okay. So your profits is basically $15, that is $25 minus $10. So that is $15. Okay. Now, the sole objective of the entrepreneur, of the producer, is to maximize this difference, is to maximize this difference. Okay. This is the sole objective of the producer, to maximize this difference. Okay. And in case, if there is any producer who is not able to do so, who is not able to maximize his difference, who is not able to maximize his profits, competitive markets punish them. They punish them by throwing them out of the market. How? Because they will be making losses on the continuous basis, and it will not be feasible for them to survive in that market, and hence they will be thrown out of the market. Okay? They'll be thrown out of the market. So competitive markets will be punishing them. Okay? So competitive markets punish the firms who do not maximize profits, who do not maximize profit, who do not maximize this difference. Okay. Now, let us take this example a little further. Okay. And try to gauge this from this point of view. Okay. So let me just name this as your number of units sold. Okay. Price of each unit. I need more columns. And then in that case you can find out what is the revenue, what is the cost. Okay, to simplify it, say cost is $5 per unit. Let's take our earlier example only, which is say $2 per unit of the cost. Okay, now there is 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, your price is say at 7 it is say at 5 units it is 5. So when you are selling more, okay, you have to decrease the price. When you are selling less, you can probably increase the price. So that is okay, at 8 units, at 8 not 8 units, it is at $8 per unit, you'll be selling probably only 2 units. Okay, because at such a high price there will be very less people who will demand the product. So what is the revenue? It is 21, 24, 25, 24, 21 and 16. Okay, now what is the cost? Cost is 7 into 2 is 14, 6 into 2 is 12, 5 into 2 is 10, 4 into 2 is 8, 3 into 2 is 6, and 2 into 2 is 4. Okay, now what is the profit? Profit is 21 minus 14 is 7, 24 minus 12 is 12, 25 minus 10 is 15, 24 minus 8 is 16, 21 minus 6 is 15, and 16 minus 4 is 12. Okay, now where do you think that the price, your difference has maximized? The difference has maximized at this point when the profit is $16. Okay, when you are selling 4 units, okay, and your price is $6. Fine. So what you will be doing is that you will see that when you have produced, say for example, when you have sold say only 3 units, okay, then you will go marginally up to see whether you can really maximize your profit again. So what you have seen is when you have moved from 3 to 4, you have increased your profit little bit. Okay, then again you will do some experiment and you will increase your production a little, your selling a little more, and you will say, okay, let me sell 5 units. But you know that selling 5 units can be sold at only at the lower price. So you will see that the price has actually, your profits have actually fallen. Okay, so you should be stopping. You should be stopping at 4 units only. Fine. Well, this is just to tell you that the sole goal of every entrepreneur is basically to maximize profits. Okay. Now, in the next recording, we'll be talking about the profit function. Okay. That is, where do exactly firms they maximize their profits.